I have some surprises that I want to show you. Oh my goodness, some really, really exciting things that I'm just thrilled about. I wasn't sure it was going to happen this year, and it's totally happening. Good afternoon. I am so excited. Well, I guess it's evening, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very excited. Today, I'm going to be putting things that are really good host plants for larvae of swallowtail butterflies. I'm going to be planting my grasses, and I'll show you the different kinds of grass that I grow in my garden because they're beautiful and they smell wonderful. There's two different kinds that I really love, and one is perennial, even in my zone 6. And then also, I'm going to show you some surprises that I wasn't sure was going to happen, but we got some fruit growing on this 3-year-old food forest. 3-year-old food forest. I've got fruit growing on some trees, and I got to show you, plus a couple other surprises. So stick with me. It's going to be good stuff. Lemongrass, because it's like the right plant that I need for that one spot that just needs something. And I don't have a whole lot of grasses growing in my food forest. I do have sweetgrass growing, and that's there. It has a very vanilla-esque smell and kind of like the sweet woodruff. The smell is really good. It also helps keep away flies. And so with that beautiful smell and all those other wonderful things, I thought it's a great win-win-win, and it's beautiful. So I've got sweetgrass growing in here, and I'm using it as a nursery. I don't necessarily want a ton of perennial grasses growing in my food forest. I don't technically like the look of just like a plain grass, and sweetgrass kind of looks like just a plain grass. Now lemongrass ends up being tall and majestic, and there's some really nice the smell as you brush up against it is very strong. I'm not quite sure how strong the sweetgrass smell is, but I do know that animals really like sweetgrass. So I'm going to use this as my nursery. I'll have a clump of it growing, and every once in a while, as it spreads just a little bit, I'll take the clump that's spreading and I'll put it in the spot that I want it. Man, I'm seeing some new vole holes. The games begin with them. I will win this one. Here, let me show you what my sweetgrass looks like. It's still very, very small. Okay, so here's my sweetgrass, and so this is it right here. It was only like 1 or 2 little shoots earlier last fall when I planted it, so it is spreading, which is nice. But I'm gonna let this get bushy in this area, and then once it goes beyond a clump in this area, then I'll start kind of moving it to different parts of the homestead. And it would be nice to have stuff like that growing where the goats are going to be and where the chickens are going to be too. Like, I want to take care of them. I want to give them some good stuff that they'll really enjoy. Okay, so parsley's going in because that is a super important plant if you want to have a host plant for the swallowtail butterfly larva. And that and dill and carrots, they just love those. And then I'm going to be putting in the nasturtiums. I'm going to be putting in the white Kilimanjaro marigolds. I'm so excited to see those bloom. I think they kind of look like a French marigold, but they're white. I mean, really cool. And so I got those from Baker Creek Seed, and that marigold trick that I use for planting the seeds, really like every single one that I planted sprouted. So I'm gonna have some really great accent marigold plants in here. Hopefully keep away some of the pests. And I'll plant that Rose of Sharon, and and then the lemongrass. Okay, so first of all, I'm not going to show you the fruit yet because it's too exciting. I'll show you the thing that's pretty much expected in a food forest. Let me show you my strawberries. All these little hanging things, they're all strawberries in the making. Look at these little baby strawberries. Some of them are pretty darn big already. I mean, we got some kahunas going on. But all these little hanging things are strawberries that are growing. I mean, look at them. They're everywhere. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. And then they go around this way. And then I've got strawberries all up there, and I've got them around here, and I've got them around there. I've got them down here. I mean, I've got them along the edge right over here and up here. I've got strawberries up here. My kids are gonna be so excited. Okay, so now I know that you really want to just see what kind of fruit we got going on. Okay, so first, let me take you to the cherry tree. Look at that fruit set. I mean, come on. There's so many growing. And yes, you see, we lost a few to frost. There's a few that are gone. That's okay. Look at how many we have though. I mean, this is gonna be a good year. We're gonna have to cover this with a net so the birds don't get them all. But even though this is a tart cherry, I mean, this is really delicious straight off the tree. I mean, this is a really good tart cherry that you're like, I don't know about you, but I love eating these cherries straight from the tree. And so do my kids. We'll just take bowls full. Okay, so maybe cherries aren't super exciting. Maybe like, oh, I've seen cherries before. Ruth, show me something good. Okay, I'll show you something else. First year, this tree is fruiting, and this is my third year having it. So sometimes you have to wait up to 5 years for a fruit tree to bear, but mine is doing it in 3. And now that's not unheard of, and it's not like, wow, I'm doing something crazy different. Although food foresting with the mulch and the mycorrhizals and the planting the beneficials at the base of the tree, that is a little bit different than most orchards you'll see, but it's not totally out of the box. So I'm just so excited because this is gonna be my first year I'm actually gonna get fruit. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to get my hopes up. I didn't want to be naive, but it's happening. Let me show you my peaches. Do you see them? Here's one. Here's one. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, here's 3 right here. Here's a bunch. Here's a bunch of them. I might have to thin some of these fruit. I mean, look at this. Ah, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Those beautiful, beautiful fuzzy peaches forming right now. Okay, so maybe peaches isn't the most exciting thing. So you're like, give me something better than that, Ruth. Give me something better than that. Okay, I'll give you something better. I'm gonna take you over to my apple tree. Let me show you my apples. How about them apples? Look at that. Now again, we got some frost damage. So there's some, let me show you this better. There's some that didn't quite make it, like right here. But look at this one did, this one did. Coming around, coming around. Look at all of these. Look at them all. I mean, we got fruit development. It's so exciting. We're gonna have apples. Okay, so maybe you remember that tree has been here for about 7 years. So maybe that's not as exciting. But what if I showed you an apple tree that I planted 3 years ago? How about that? And here we go. Look at that fruit set. Okay, so apples. Everybody has apples, right? So can I do any better than that? Yes. Say hello to my little nectarine. And there are a few more on the other side, but this is the prettiest one. So I'm gonna take a video of this one. Oh! Okay, so those are my fruit trees. I am so excited about this. There is nothing, okay, maybe having a baby and feeling that baby put on your chest for the first time. Okay, so yes, definitely things like that. But as far as hobbies, there's nothing in my book that feels as good as coming out into the garden that you planted 3 years ago in good faith and seeing fruit on your trees when it could have been another 2 years and you would have been fine waiting that long. But now, 2 years early, you have fruit. I even have more fruit, actually. Let me show you some of the other fruit that I got going on. Here we are. My black currant giving me some good fruit. Here we are at my gooseberry. Can you see it? They kind of blend in. Here we go. Here's some. Giving me some good fruit. There's some over here. Oh, and my other gooseberry. Let me show you my other gooseberry. This is my red gooseberry, although they still look green right now. Oh my goodness, look at all this fruit. And they're just hanging from the vine or the branch. And I can't remember if this is my red currant or my white currant. But look at that. So exciting. My raspberries are making flowers. And you know what that means. All along this hedge here, different kinds of berries making flowers. And we got blueberries, and like, now these aren't into the berries yet, but they're gonna become berries. Oh, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. Things are happening, and I know that not all of them are gonna do it this year. Like my plums and my pears, it might be next year. That's okay. That's okay. I wasn't even expecting anything this year. And yet, I mean, really, we got some beautiful things going on. And I am so blessed. I am so blessed. And I know that we got great things happening. I mean, I'm finding praying mantis egg sacs everywhere, which may freak out some people, but for me, I really like that. And I think most gardeners would be really excited to see a bunch of praying mantis egg sacs. I find them in the garden for the vegetables. I'm finding them all over the food forest. Balance is coming. Our predators are moving in and taking up residence. I'm seeing butterflies that I've been trying to attract for the past couple years out, even though some of the flowers for them aren't blooming yet. Specific flowers for them. I mean, they're going on, I'm sure they're happy to go on any flowers that are blooming. We definitely have flowers because I made sure to plant things that would bloom early spring, just in case they came. But I mean, this is really exciting stuff. So let me show you something else that is exciting. Let me tell you about my field. Now, I've had some people look at the landscape of this property and say, why in the world did you plant on a hill when you got this beautiful field on flat ground over here? And some people may be just thinking, well, maybe she just wants to have a field. Maybe she wants to just have some grazing area. You know, no, this is not our property. The field is not our property. My garden is the actual edge of the property. Like the chicken coop is not on our property. That is on our aunt and uncle's property. And our land adjoins theirs. And I mean, we are going to be moving the chicken house, but I don't think it's because of my aunt and uncle. They're not, you know, like, oh my goodness, get your chicken coop off of our property. We're just moving it so that we can get it fenced off and kind of out of the way. But our property line is basically exactly right where the edge of the garden is. Actually, it's not just probably, it's like exactly the edge of the property line. That's the boundary. And so I did it on the most open, flat space that we had. If I had been able to plant in the field, you bet I would have planted in the field first and foremost, because this is flat. It'd be easier to contour. Oh my goodness. Like, I would be able to like put a pond in here easy. Anyway, I do plant out here though. And that's what I wanted to show you. So this, like the last 7 or 8 years, actually, no, it's been like the whole time I've been married and known Jamie, 13 years. So 13 years I've been out here visiting my husband's parents' house. They've had this big burn pile of just like branches and compost and weeds and just stuff, right? Green stuff, brown stuff, and they put it into this big pile right here. And they just built it up every year. And it's not like it ever sank down, but as it got older, the stuff on the bottom would compost and go into the soil. And then this last winter, on a wet, cold, rainy day, my father-in-law came out and burned it, and they decided they didn't want to have that out here anymore. And so for years, this thing had been decaying into this ground, and then he burned it all down to nothing. And so now there's that burnt, rich nitrogen, charcoal stuff going on. This is rich soil right here, and it's bare soil. And in a field that's overrun with grasses, a big chunk of dark, good, nutrient-dense soil, I jumped on that opportunity. And I know that my aunt and uncle would not be bothered if their field had flowers in it throughout the year. And so I thought, what a great time to plant it for pollinators, right? So I spread seed mid-March. I spread seed and stomped all over it. And let me show you what I got. And here it is. Look at this. I mean, I honestly think that might be lettuce growing. I'm not exactly sure, but I mean, we've got, look at, there's bee balm, there's sage, there's milkweed. There's so much milkweed growing in here. I mean, there's comfrey, there's motherwort, there's so many different wildflower packages of mixes that I spread out through here. And yes, there's a couple of thistles, and I'll get rid of those because I don't want those out here. But the rest of it, oh my goodness, you can't hardly see any grass growing right here. This is all stuff from the seeds. So that is so exciting, because I know that this circle here is just going to be gorgeous. And now once this gets a foothold out in the field, the seed's gonna start spreading, roots are gonna start spreading. It's gonna be really great. And it's gonna look so good. Okay, also, if you'll see behind me, this is the field, right? And there's these pathways, and this is, my husband mows this. And we don't mow the middle areas, except for at the very, very, very end of the year, right? My uncle comes up here and he just cuts it all down. So I think his deal with me with the flowers was like, are you okay if I cut this down in the fall? Because I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, yes, totally, that's fine. So, but my husband comes out here and he cuts kind of like pathways through here. And this is my kids' racetrack in the summer. They've got like these battery operated cars, and they roll around in here through the tall grass on these racetracks. And that is so much fun, and it's so beautiful. And this is my husband's favorite part of the whole property. And it's not our part, it's shared property though. Like we go walking on their part of the property, they go walking on it. It's like, it's okay. That's why we got family property, right? Is so that we could all enjoy it. So yes, I don't plant out here my food forest or my gardens or anything like that, but this is a space of joy, and I'm so excited to see what kind of wildflowers pop up here, and then to have the chickens cooped up so that I can finally plant my potatoes. The potato thing is driving me nuts a little bit. It's been delayed because my father-in-law has to fix a certain tool in order for it to work, but as he was fixing it, he cut his hand really badly, and like really badly, and so it probably needed stitches, but he didn't get stitches. He just used like super glue or something like that, and so it's taken a little while for him to heal up, and that is fine. Please, I want my father-in-law to heal up. That is much more important than potatoes, but he is healed up now and he's working on it again, and I am so excited to get the potatoes in finally and spread that straw back out the way that it needs to be. Okay, so I am done talking about that. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, random as it is, but there's lots of exciting things to look forward to. And yeah, we just had the food forest tour, and there's a lot of beautiful things going on, but there is so much more to look forward to. So much more to look forward to. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you, and that you guys are going to be seeing it with me, because, oh man, like some cool stuff's going to be happening this year that I wasn't even expecting. What a great surprise. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please hit that like button and do the notification bell if you're subscribed, because I mean, for goodness sakes, that helps the algorithm so much, and it really supports my channel a lot, and I would really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm going to be sending out a whole bunch of different videos. I've got stuff. I mean, I'm really getting into the vegetable garden now that we're past our frost date. And so we're going to be doing a lot of planting of vegetables. Our carrots are coming in really great. We got onions planted, tomatoes planted. We got the melons and the corn and the beans and the zucchini and the Brussels sprouts and the cauliflower. They're all growing already. There's a bunch more that I still need to plant, but stick with me on that journey as well. And I've also got some medicinal stuff that I'm going to be showing you. I've got some new salves I'm going to be making, and some teas and tinctures and stuff like that. So stick with me. There's going to be some great stuff coming out. I hope you had a wonderful day, and stay blessed.